Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Hey everyone.
Today, we're jumping back into a world I know a lot of us spent maybe too much time in. MapleStory, the classic version.
Oh yeah, the pixel grind, the music, good times.
Mostly, because let's be real, it wasn't exactly a perfectly balanced world, was it? Especially later on.
Not even close. That's what we're digging into, right? The class
Yeah.
balance issues.
Exactly. We've got this really interesting tier list focused on the late game, fourth job and beyond.
The final form stuff.
Right. We want to unpack why certain classes were where they were, the core problems, and maybe, just maybe, think about how a classic world could fix things.
And focusing on fourth job is key, I think.
Why is that?
Well, because that's really the main chunk of the game, isn't it? Like once you hit fourth job, you've still got maybe 70% of the leveling, the real end game content ahead of you.
Okay, good point. That's where your class really settles in.
Totally. And knowing your class is actually viable, balanced at that point, that's huge for player motivation. Keeps you invested for those, hundreds of hours.
Or thousands.
Or thousands, yeah. We should probably also mention the ground rules for this chat, though.
Good idea. What are we assuming?
We're kind of working on the idea that the really game-breaking stuff would be fixed in a hypothetical classic world.
Like HP washing. God, remember that.
Oh, yeah. That whole mess where you had to gimp your early levels to survive later, that's gotta go.
Agreed. And like excessive leeching, major skill bugs.
All that stuff that just warped the balance completely. We're assuming that's cleaned up so we can look at the actual class design.
Okay, makes sense. So, with that clean slate, how do we even compare these classes? It's a complex game.
It is, but you can boil it down, I think, mostly to two main things. Bossing and mobbing.
Right, fighting the big guys versus clearing out maps full of regular monsters.
Exactly. Bossing is your single target damage, your utility and raids, that kind of stuff.
And mobbing is just efficiency. Clearing groups fast for EXP.
Pretty much. So when we look at a class, we're asking, first, can it actually do all the content? Like, is it totally useless in boss fights?
Okay, content accessibility.
And second, can it, contribute fairly? Is it balanced compared to others while still feeling like it's doing its intended job?
Its role, yeah.
There are other mechanics, sure, but those two things, access and balance in bossing mobbing, that's the core of the comparison for today.
Oh, got it. Crystal clear. So let's dive in then. Where do we start? Maybe the ranged folks.
Sounds good. Let's kick off with the archers, bowmaster, and marksman. They're sitting in B tier on this list.
D tier. Okay, so decent but not amazing.
Right.
Feels like a good place to unpack the balance issues.
Yeah, exactly. And historically, they were actually pretty well balanced against each other. Marksman maybe a bit better at mobbing, bowmaster at bossing.
What did they bring to the table, though, for the party?
The big one was Sharp Eye. Huge buff. Critical hit rate for everyone.
Ah, right. Night Lords loved that, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely essential for them. And being ranged, they had decent single target damage, good bossing potential, could even solo some stuff with their puppet skill.
Flooded. There's always a but in B tier.
The but is their mobbing felt, well, kind of weak compared to other ranged classes, and their mobility was rough, like arguably the worst in the game.
Ouch. While other ranged classes are zipping around.
Exactly. Plus, like all ranged, they were pretty squishy, needed that hyper body buff from a Dark Knight just to survive.
So solid, useful with Sharp Eye, but flawed. Hence B tier.
Yep. Makes sense.
Okay, so if archers are B, let's talk S tier. This is where it gets really interesting. Who's sitting at the absolute top for damage?
No surprises here, really. It's got to be the Night Lord. Solid S tier.
Define the meta, some would say.
Absolutely. I mean, they didn't just have good single target damage.
Yeah, the best.
The best, period. Plus the best mobility, amazing avoidability. They got way more out of attack potion. Just the undisputed king of bossing.
But what about mobbing? Were they useless there?
See, that's the thing. Even their mobbing was really solid. Better than archers, definitely, because they had useful skills to clear maps quicker.
Wow. So great at everything.
Pretty much. The numbers back it up, too. It was by far the most popular class. It almost felt like Nexen, showed a bit of favoritism.
Yeah, you can see how that happens.
Yeah.
But it kind of creates problems, doesn't it, if one class is that good?
Totally. It stifles diversity. Why play anything else if one class just dominates everything? That's the danger, even with a class people love.
Right. Okay, let's shift gears from the top dog to the pirates. Starting with Corsair, another B tier. Sounds like a cool idea, but maybe didn't quite land.
Yeah, Corsair Story is kind of an uphill battle. The early game was notoriously hard.
Oh, I remember hearing that.
It only really started feeling okay at fourth job, and even then, endgame. Kind of mid at everything, competent but not really excelling anywhere.
Did it have any strength?
It actually had pretty decent mobbing for a ranged class, better than archers maybe, and its bossing was respectable, better than archers, but still, below Night Lords.
So what was the main issue? No utility.
That was a big part of it. No party buffs at all, so less reason to bring one along. It felt like it was supposed to maybe counter Night Lords or work with Buccaneers, but the damage just wasn't there.
So potential, but needed tuning.
Exactly. Little things like the ship skills HP being too low, stuff that's easily fixable in a theoretical classic reboot. That potential keeps it in B tier.
Okay. And the other pirate, the Buccaneer, also B tier. Similar story. Great idea. Execution lacking.
Pretty much spot on. Buccaneers actually had some really great party buffs. Time leap, speed infusion, useful stuff.
Oh, right. Time leak, that reset cooldown.
Yeah, super useful. But their own damage was often a bit low for bossing. They couldn't quite pull their weight just on DPS.
How was their mobbing?
It was decent.
Yep.
Solid. Maybe not warrior level, but okay.
So, like the Corsair, just needed number adjustments.
Largely, yeah. The actual class design, the concepts, they were solid. Just needed tweaking. That's why it's also B tier good bones. Just needed some tuning.
All right, let's move from the pirates to the warriors. The tanky frontliners. Where do they fit in? Starting with another S tier, the Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, yeah, instant S tier. And it comes down to one skill, mostly.
Hyper body.
Hyper body, absolutely essential. The only class providing that massive HP/MP boost kept all the squishy range classes alive in boss fights.
Couldn't really run high-level bosses without one, could you?
Pretty much mandatory. But they weren't just buff machines. They had great cleave damage, too, hitting multiple enemies, top-tier bossing ability on their own.
And mobbing.
Yeah.
Warriors were generally good at that, right?
Yep, great mobbing from early on, plus rush for mobility. Dark Knights were always strong contenders, historically.
So it's that combination, isn't it? Irreplaceable utility and strong performance.
Exactly. Rare combo. Solid S tier, no question.
Okay, so if DK is essential S tier, what about the hero? Seems solid, good damage, but it's down in C tier. What gives?
Yeah, the hero is a perfectly solid class, good boss damage, really good cleave, maybe even better than Dark Knight sometimes. Very good mobbing, too.
So, what's the catch?
The catch is it doesn't really bring anything unique. Its main party buff, Rage, for attack power.
Potions could replace it.
Yeah, easily replaced by common potions. So it didn't offer that essential utility. It ended up being just kind of the most average solo class.
So you could do everything, but you weren't the best at anything. And you weren't needed for anything specific.
Precisely. And in a game that values party synergy and specific roles so much, just being solid without a unique niche, well, it makes you kind of irrelevant.
That really highlights the design challenge, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You need something special.
You do. Just being generally competent wasn't enough. That's the C-tier reality for the hero.
Which brings us to the lowest warrior, the Paladin, in D tier. Similar issues to the hero. Lack of identity.
Spot on. Paladins had some warrior strengths. Great mobbing, fantastic survivability.
Elemental damage too, right? Could that help?
It could, situationally. If the boss was weak to their element, their damage might jump above a hero's. That wasn't always the case, and it depended heavily on the specific enemy.
So, niche damage, what were the main weaknesses then?
Their cleave felt weaker compared to other warriors, making mobbing less impactful sometimes. And, like the hero, just no real unique contribution.
No party buffs either.
Didn't even get any party buffs, no. So, again, if you're not bringing top damage or unique utility, why pick you?
Ouch. D tier makes sense then. Just didn't have a compelling reason to exist in the party meta.
Sadly, yeah.
Okay, let's switch to the mages. This is always a wild one in MapleStory. We've got the Ice Lightning and Fire Poison Archmages in C tier. Mobbing Kings, bossing Zeros. Is that fair?
It's almost comically fair, yeah. All three mages, including Bishop, had, like, the best mobbing in the game, period. From second, third job onwards.
Teleport helped too, right? Amazing mobility.
Amazing mobility, yeah. And those big AoE skills. Ice Lightning, Fire Poison. They just cleared entire screens. It was honestly kind of balance breaking.
I remember seeing that. Like struggling on my warrior and then a mage just wipes the map.
Exactly. Humbling stuff. Their mobbing power was just off the charts.
But the trade-off?
Was huge. They were borderline useless in boss fights. Terrible single target damage.
So you just wouldn't bring them.
You'd only bring one if you were absolutely desperate, couldn't find anyone else, and maybe if they were super high level.
And they didn't offer party buffs, like, say, a bishop.
Nope. Nothing unique for the party. So they were effectively locked out of all the endgame bossing content.
It's such an extreme split.
Yeah.
Amazing at one thing, terrible at another.
Totally. It's that broken mobbing ability that basically saves them from D tier, keeps them in C.
It sounds like some classes were just wildly specialized. But then there's the bishop. The mage that breaks the mold, sitting pretty in S tier.
The bishop. Yeah, you could argue it's probably the best class in the game overall.
Really? Better than Night Lord or Dark Knight?
In terms of overall value and demand, probably. Okay, maybe its mobbing damage was a tiny bit less than the other archmages, but still vastly stronger than almost everyone else.
But the utility was the key, right?
Absolutely. They were, hands down, the most wanted class in every party. Holy symbol, the EXP buff. Game changer.
Oh yeah. Everyone wanted that sweet, sweet EXP boost.
And bless, heal, dispel. Just the ultimate support package.
So it's that perfect blend again. Decent mobbing, but unmatched, irreplaceable utility.
Nailed it. That's S tier defined right there. They just made every party better.
Okay, one class left in our deep dive. The other rogue branch. The Shadower. Landing in D tier. Another one struggling for a place.
Yeah, Shadower had a really tough time finding its niche. Its bossing wasn't great, damage wasn't top tier, cleave wasn't amazing.
What about Smokescreen? Wasn't that supposed to be useful utility?
It had potential, yeah. Reducing damage taken inside the smoke, but in practice it just wasn't impactful enough most of the time to justify bringing a Shadower just for that.
Okay. And mobbing. Rogues usually had a tough start.
They did, and it didn't get much better for Shadowers late game. Mobbing was generally considered not really good.
And Mezzo Explosion. The skill that used money. Flashy, but practical.
Mostly flashy, looked cool, detonating piles of mezzos, but it cost actual money, and the setup was just too impractical for consistent viable damage.
So it sounds very similar to the hero or paladin situation.
In a lot of ways, yes. Not really unique, didn't excel strongly anywhere, easily replaced by classes that did things better, whether damage or utility.
Just couldn't carve out that essential role.
Yeah.
D tier it is.
Yep, rough spot for them.
So as we kind of wrap up this look back at classic MapleStory balance, or imbalance.
Yeah.
The simplest way to get your head around this tier list is just asking that basic question, right?
Exactly. Who would you actually bring to your party? For grinding, for bossing.
Yeah.
The logic is super pragmatic. You look at those low-tier classes, C and D, there was usually no compelling reason to pick them over the better options.
They just didn't offer enough.
Right. Meanwhile, the higher tiers, S and sometimes B, they were either highly beneficial or, in some cases like Bishop or Dark Knight, basically required.
Obligatory, yeah.
So it really forced players into specific party compositions.
And that kind of leads to the big question for you, listening out there. Whether you played back then or you're just hearing about this now.
Yeah, if you were redesigning Classic World knowing all this, what changes would you make? How would you balance these classes, especially the poor souls in C and D tier?
Did we miss anything? Any specific niche build for like a Paladin or Shadower that maybe worked better than we remember? How would you compare them?
It's interesting to think about, right, because understanding why it was imbalanced is the first step to imagining how it could be truly fair, truly engaging.
A classic world where maybe every class feels like it has a real purpose, a real reason to be played.
Yeah.
What's your dream balance scenario?
Something for you to chew on.
Definitely something to ponder. Thanks for breaking it all down.
Always fun to talk, Maple.
Until the next deep dive.